Hello and welcome. My name is MiniBetrayal and this is Factorio Megabase. Last episode we set up our logistics train, which is now full of everything. We've got another train with some stuff ready to load it with. That's all ready to take with us. So, what are we doing today? Well, firstly, the Spidertrons are currently on the warpath. I've set them up with a little to-do list. Just because the pollution was getting a little bit on the close side. That should be enough to deal with them. Yep. Yeah, so I just send them back and forth like that just to take care of any stragglers. And then they're also going to take care of that base for me. What we are going to do today is build red science. But we're going to build it in a big way. So, we need copper and iron. So let's see if we can find a good place for that. So one thing we need to do is figure out exactly how much copper and iron we're going to need. So let's do some maths. I hope you saw the end of the last episode, otherwise that little outburst wouldn't make any sense. Right, so we want 1,000 red science per minute. Okay, whoop, my pen just dropped off the table. Okay, so if we open up this guy, we can see that ordinarily that would mean we would need 1,000 copper plates per minute and 1,000 gears per minute. But that does not take into account productivity modules. Let me just pinch some of these quickly. Right. If I throw down one of these, which is the machine in which we can make red science, you can see that this actually gives it, well, if I find somewhere with some power, let's just bring that out here. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, one of them with them and productivity modules. Okay, so you can see on the right there, we have plus 40% productivity. So that means instead of needing 1,000 of each of them, we need 1,000 divided by 1.4. I think that's right. So that would be, we actually only need 714 plates and gears per second. Similarly, the gears can also have productivity modules. So instead of needing it's actually 714.285714. But yes, instead of needing that much, this also gets plus 40% productivity. So, whereas this ordinarily requires 2 iron plates, we need... so, if I multiply that 714 by 2, that's 1,428 and a half and a bit. If we divide that by 1.4, that takes us to 1,020.4 iron plates per minute. And what was it? 714.3 copper plates per minute. But that's still not the end of the story. So, in addition to all of that, the smelters, or the furnaces, they can also carry productivity modules. They can only carry 2, so we only get 20% productivity. But that means for the 714.3 copper plates per minute we need, if I divide that by 1.2, that tells us we actually only need 595.3. I'm rounding up to the nearest decimal place with these numbers, by the way. 595.3 copper ore per minute. Similarly, if I do 1020.5 iron plates per minute, divide that by 1.2, that means we need 850.5 iron ore per minute, which is still quite a lot. Now, I do also have to be careful with belt throughput. So that 595 and a bit copper and 850 and a bit iron ores per minute sounds like a lot, but then consider that's per minute, and usually in Factorio we deal with per second quantities. So if I divide those by 60, so 595.3 divided by 60, that's less than 10 per second. 10 copper ore per second. It's 9.92 and a bit. If I do the 850.5, divide that by 60, that's 14.175 items per second. Iron ore per second in that case. That means to get 1,000 red science packs per minute, which is, I guess, the standard for a megabase build, 1,000 science per minute, we need like half a red belt of each of our ores, which is not a lot. So, yeah, we don't actually need massive deposits. So if I can just find, yeah, these ones out here, in fact, these will probably be much bigger than we need. Because I really don't need that many miners out there. But we'll probably do it with these ones. Okay, so where did the Spidertron get to? There, okay. Or the Octatron. So I will send the Octatron over that way to deal with the locals. I will just quickly check that I have furnaces in the train, because I don't recall putting them in. Okay, yes, I forgot to put furnaces on the train. Okay, so hang on. Let me just move this out of the way for a second. I'm going to do some subtle changes. So firstly, I am going to, right, this one here, I'm going to disconnect that rolling stock and drive forwards. I'm actually going to drive forwards a little bit further. Actually, can I do what I want to do here? Probably not. Okay. I'm going to come back. I'm just going to fiddle with the rails a little bit. Alright, so I've just thrown out some extra rails there. What this allows me to do is basically have a siding that I can mess around with the trains a little bit. So, let's see. Is this one going to go the way I want it to? No. Yeah, so if I park the train back up on this siding, hop out, get in this one here, press V to disconnect the rolling stock, and pull forwards. Yep. Then pull backwards onto this one. So this essentially all comes from a comment on the last video, actually, suggesting that I make sure I have rail components in the front wagon. So I'm going to swap the front wagon with wherever the trains were. So V to disconnect that. We'll go forwards. This, what? No, not quite. No, also not quite. I want to go round that bend. There we go. Okay. Then we hop into this one. Whoops. Well, that was always going to happen doing this. Okay. I guess I could pick up the wagons and such to do this, but firstly, doing it this way is a little bit of fun. But also it means that I don't have to worry about having heaps of crap in my inventory. Okay, that one. So hopefully you can sort of see what I'm doing here. Ooh, I need to go a little bit further forwards for that. There we go. Then I just reconnect all of this back up. Boop. In fact, I will just send you on to stuff. Go. You'll find your own way back up here. Okay, then what I need to do is essentially swap that wagon and the rails wagon, which is this one. So if I copy that, put that there, copy that, put that there, swap these ones out for active providers so they get emptied. Still not empty? Okay, just a few more. Okay, now these ones up here are empty. So I want them to go there. Should not have this much stuff in my inventory. I think I probably should have made sure I was out of range before doing that. Okay, and then boop-a-doop-a-doop. Okay, there's that one, and then same thing down here. I will actually turn off my personal roboport for this. Copy that, paste it there. Swap those out for active providers. Most of them should just get put straight into those chests. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Oh, and thank you, autosave. Okay, so that's those two. Oh, I missed the one over here. Yeah. The train has one on the other side as well. Okay, so that's those two wagons swapped over. Now I want to add another wagon on the back. Did that connect? Apparently so. This one, I don't know exactly how much I want in it, but I want it to be furnaces, electric furnaces. They stack to 50. Let's request 500. That should be one stack. Oh, sorry, one row. I'll just filter them as they go. Oh, apparently not. There we go. So it's still waiting on a few more. Whoa. Oh yes, here's another change I made. Also in response to the comments on the last video, I slightly extended this loop. Now if we hop in here and look at the fuel, you'll see that each loop takes exactly one wood. That means if and when it does ever run out, it should still make it back to the station. Okay, what are you doing? You are a wooden chest. Why are you a wooden chest? That's probably why I didn't have enough electric furnaces in here. Okay, but that should do it. Okay, so now I think we've got all the stuff we need. So, let's go, I guess. Right, so let's come out here. Right, here's where we're going to. So, I'll just send the train to there. Make sure I'm in it. Good. Okay, meanwhile, let's start clearing out these guys. Okay, so while I send the Spidertron around this little lake, or sorry, while I send the Octatron around this little lake, I keep forgetting to call it the Octatron. Let's... Oh, actually, I thought we were there already. Okay, it's just decided to take me around the loop. Wait, it's not doing something... No, don't go to stuff. There we go. It was trying to go home. That's why. Right. Let's just drive it manual. And we will give ourselves a little siding. About here-ish. So, let's see. Okay, we're going to need some of those rails by the looks of it. Oh, I also need to turn my rubber port back on. That will help. Okay, that's that done. Let's get rid of some of these trees as well. Okay, and that will let me pop down a signal. There. Octatron doing a reasonably good job clearing out this little area. Yeah. I do like now it's got the waypoint system set up. I can just sort of set and forget. I do have to be a little bit careful because if it skirmishes, if it skirts a base and there is a skirmish, but I don't completely destroy the base, then I'll end up with whole heaps of biters pathing and trying to attack me and having all sorts of more frames and UPS issues. So I just have to make sure I go around them a bit like that. There's probably a bunch of bases up there. Anyway, we'll let them do that thing. Actually taking a little bit of damage. So I don't even think I need to give them repair bots, because they repair themselves pretty quickly actually. And they've got the Mark III shields. Anyway, right. So, first things first, we need some miners. Which is this one here, okay. So, yeah, so, oh, I already had a bunch on me, that's right. Now, I don't think we need that many. So remember, for copper, we need 595.3 per minute, which is 9.92 per second. So, well, sorry, that was copper. For iron, which is the one we're doing now, was 850.5. Divide that by 60 is 14.175 per second. Yeah, and a blue belt will take, what was it, 90 miners? But yeah, I think we only need 30 And that's not including the extra ones we get from the mining productivity bonus. In fact, what am I doing? I've got a thing right here for that. I think if I just do that, that is 18, well, it's 36 miners, which is 18 per second, even without the mining productivity bonus. So that's plenty there. And for the copper, that's not the right one. This one. That's even more. Yeah, that's fine. Let's just get some power linking those together. Okay, I'm going to need 2 of them. And put them in roughly the same place. Okay, iron and copper. Okay, so now we've got that, we need to smelt them. And we need... let's see. Okay, so for the iron here, we need to smelt... I've still got all my numbers in minutes. So let me put it in seconds. So we've got 850.5 divided by 60. We've got 14.2 iron ore per minute being smelted into 17 iron plates per minute. Okay, so if we need to smelt 17 iron plates per minute, per second rather, one of these on their own, the iron plate recipe takes 3.2 seconds, and this is being smelted at a crafting speed of 1.4, you see on the right there. So 3.2 divided by 1.4, that means each smelt will take 2.28 seconds. So that's seconds per smelt. If I take the reciprocal of that, that gives us 0.43 and a bit smelts per second. And I need 14.2 smelts per second. That's how much ore we've got coming in. So if I divide that by 14.2, take the reciprocal, 32 of these guys if I don't use speed beacons. If I do use speed beacons, I can probably cut that down significantly. So let's do that. Okay, so by speed beaconing it with just a single row of beacons like that, we bring it down from 32, or in fact 33 with rounding, to just 9 of these machines. I think I can get it better though, so let me see if I can put a row of beacons on the other side and we'll see what that gives us. Okay, with beacons on both sides like that, we only need 5 of them. And that will give us all of the iron we actually need, all of the iron plates that is we actually need to do this. Okay, so I don't need them, I don't need them, or them. Okay, I can do essentially the same thing with the copper. So let's just give these inputs and outputs, and somewhere for the output to go. Okay, and then I just need to copy and paste. Oh, thank you, autosave. And once we've got this going, I don't think there's anything else we actually need to do for this bit. So this will give us iron plates and copper plates. Now the iron plates I need to turn into iron gear wheels. So we've got 17.1 iron plates per second on this belt. We need to turn them into gears using productivity modules. And we'll probably continue the speed actually. So let's just put that there so I can see what the speed moduling does to it. Gears. There we go. Okay. So you can see there the crafting speed is 5.5. So if I take the ordinary crafting speed of a gear wheel, which is 0.5, divide that by the crafting speed of the machine, which is 5.5, that gives us 0.90909090 seconds per craft. If I take the reciprocal of that, it's 11. So this will give us 11 gears per second. Or, sorry, 11 crafts per second. With the productivity boost, it'll actually give us more than 11. So we take the number of crafts we want, which is 17.1, and divide it by that 11 and get 1.554. So we just need to round up, and that gives us 2 machines. These want inputs, outputs. I will probably, in fact I will definitely stack insert of these, because that is very fast coming out of there. I'll stack insert of these as well. I'm not sure how necessary it is. In fact, it shouldn't be necessary, but whatever. It's done. And there's gears. So we've got plates down here, gears up there. In fact, I think I might even have too many of these machines down here. Let's do the same calculation again. So this has crafting speed of 9.4. A copper plate takes 3.2 seconds to craft. If we divide that by the crafting speed of 9.4, we get 0.34 seconds per craft. Invert that and we've got 2.9 crafts per second. Divide the number of crafts we want, which is 10 after rounding per second, by that number, and we get 3.4. So yes, we only need 4 of these machines. So yes, by using beacons and modules, you can really cut down on the size of a build. This is actually much, much smaller than I ever expected it to be. Okay. So that should give us about 12 copper and 12 gears per second, which can easily fit on one side of a blue belt each. So you know what, if I'm clever about this, I might be able to squeeze things in even tighter. Yeah. Okay, so if I just angle that up there, this belt can then squeeze down in here, and we can do something like that. So this will have copper on one side, gears on the other. So then we just need our red science machines to go along like that. Don't know how many of them I'll need just yet. Let's find out. Okay, so a red science takes 5 seconds to craft. We have a crafting speed of 5.5. So that means we get 1 craft every 0.909 seconds, or 1.1 crafts per second. We need 16.666, or 16 2/3 per second, which is 1000 per minute. So if we take that 16 2/3 and divide that by 1.1, we get 15 machines. Actually, we get 15.15, so overall we have 16 machines. I just need to continue that belt along to there. I need to give all of these an output. And over here is where we will have in theory, 1,000 science per minute. 1,000 red science per minute, anyway. So, yeah. That is much, much easier than I thought it was going to be, actually. I know red science is fairly easy, but I was expecting it to be bigger. So, what I'm going to do is switch it on, I guess. Okay, so if I just stand here and pick up red science as fast as it comes in, in theory, once this backup has unbacked up, we should be getting (16 2/3 per second). I'm not convinced I've done everything right, because I am getting a compressed half... Oh no, it wasn't entirely compressed. Okay, things have died down a little bit. In fact, these last few aren't running, because this machine isn't running. We're not getting enough gears. Did I divide something when I should have multiplied? Okay, so I've just been standing at the end of the belt picking everything up, and I timed how long it took to pick up 1,000 red science, and it was actually 58 seconds. So we're definitely making 1,000 per minute. I'm just not sure where my numbers went wrong, because clearly not all of these machines are working, and that isn't working either. Maybe I was rounding a bit too heavily, I don't know. But it is working. That is the important thing, I guess. So I'll just leave all of that in a box there. Marvelous. Well, that didn't take long at all, really. So, shall we try green science as well? Let me do some figuring, and we'll see how much input stuff we need for green science. Alright, so I've done some mathemagicking, and according to my calculations, which are probably not correct, but according to them nonetheless, if I want 1,000 green 1,000 green science per minute, I need 7.593 copper ore per second. I also need 43.22... Can't read my writing. I think that's a 5. 2 to 5 iron ore per second. Which is effectively a blue belt, so 90 miners worth. Now this might not be big enough. I think if I rearrange some stuff, I can probably squeeze all of the iron miners I need onto there. Okay. Yeah, let's do some rearranging. Okay, so this is what I get if I just spam miners down on the whole thing. That there is 34 miners, which should be enough to feed that. Even without the couple at the end, which will run out, not exactly quickly, but before the others. Okay, if I then essentially just swap the direction of all of the other belts. Now this is way overkill, but I can just merge these into one essentially. Yeah, because I need less than 45 iron ore per second, I can get it all on a single blue belt. So I will do that. Okay. There's my iron. Now I just need, what was it, 7.6, slightly less than 7.6 copper. Which I can get from that. Okay. And then more of the same, really. Okay, so pinching the sort of... ooh. That needs to be reconnected as well. There we go. Yeah, so I reckon if we sort of pinch this kind of design... well, I'm going to need more stuff. Hang on. Alright, so let's do the copper first. So I need to turn this 7.6 copper ore per second into 9.111 copper plates per second. And we will do that thusly. Beacons, I knew I missed something. Alright, so remember the copper plate takes 3.2 seconds to craft, or to smelt, I should say. So if we do 3.2 divided by our crafting speed of 9.4 there, that means each smelting will take 0.34 seconds. And then if we multiply that by the number of crafts we want to do, which in this case is 7.593, we only need 2.58 of these machines, so I can get rid of this last one. Okay. Then the copper, so the 9.111 copper cable, copper plates need to be turned into 25.511 copper cable. Now, this might get a little bit trickier, because this is incredibly fast. Each copper cable is crafted, or each pair of copper cables is crafted in 0.5 seconds. So, on average, they are crafted in a quarter of a second. Divide that by our crafting speed of 5.5 for one of these machines, and we get 22 per second. Which means we only need 2 of these machines, but I'm fairly certain 22 is well above the maximum throughput of a stack inserter. Going to a belt anyway. Yeah, from a stacked container like a chest or an assembly machine going to an express belt, maximum is 13.85 items per second. So, we're going to have to do this bit slightly differently. I'm going to do that. Except not that. So that way, the 2 manufacturers that we need should still have the same crafting speed. Crafting speed 6.25? Why is that one higher? Oh, because I haven't put the... There you go, 5.5. I didn't put the productivity modules in there. Okay, so the other benefit to this is it will also put things on both sides of this belt, because the number of copper cable we need is too high for a single side of a blue belt. Okay, so that takes us up as far as copper cable. Okay. As for the iron, okay. Now this is where we've got another little bit of a tricky thing, because while we need less than a blue belt of iron ore, 43.2 and a bit, we actually need more than a blue belt of iron plates because of the productivity they'll give us extra. So I'll need to figure out how to do this elegantly, I guess. So I think something like this might work. So according to the same kind of calculations I did before, we need 15 smelters. So if I split them into 2 rows of 2, 2 rows, 6 on one side, 7 on the other, so we've got 15, I can't count, 7 on one side, 8 on the other, that's how numbers work. Then we'll have 15 of those, okay. Alright, so I think something like this should work. I've increased it a little bit, so we've actually got 16 of these miners now, and it looks a little better. And then that should give us, in theory, exactly half. So 51.871 divided by 2. We should have 25.935-ish per second on each of those belts. Okay. Then into gears, we need to turn 25.51 of those plates into gears. Actually, I will come back to gears. We need to turn 8.504 of those iron plates per second, along with these copper cables that we're making, into circuits. So I am thinking if I do something like this. Actually, yeah, I will put that back there. Something a little like that. So we'll divert some of the iron plates over here where we can make some green circuits with them. Okay, so circuits are made quickly enough that we only need one machine, and with a little bit of belt spaghetti here, I've managed to squeeze in the iron supply coming in there. So the copper's over there, the iron will come in here. This copper machine will now get, this copper cable machine will now get its copper from up there, instead of over the side mirroring this one. In fact, you know what? Just to keep it symmetrical. There you go. And then this is going to have our 11.9-ish circuits on it. Now we'll move on to gears. The other main benefit to taking out the iron for the green circuits we need to have a little bit earlier is that now by the time we get to here, we should have less than a full belt of iron. So I'm hoping that we can merge it all together onto one. Hoping. Just to be on the safe side when it comes to merging those, I'm going to put a lane balancer in here, if I can squeeze one in. Just because I don't 100% trust the sort of inherent lane balancing at the moment. Okay. So it's probably a little bit over compact, but this does work. Okay, so that should be our belt of iron there. Okay, now we need to turn that into gears, or we need 17.857 gears per second. Alright, so we've split off some of the iron now, and that comes across here into these gear machines. 2 gears should be enough. Meanwhile, the green circuits, there's a little bit of balancing there, and then they snake under there. So we've got gears, circuits, and iron. Okay, now we need to make 11.905 inserters. Inserters come from each of those 3. We also need to make 11.905 belts, transport belts. Alright, so a tasty bowl of Italian cuisine later. We have 2 belts now over here. This one here carries equal amounts of iron gears and iron plates, and this one here carries 11.9 circuits. So, if we turn some of the gears and some of the plates into belts, and then some of the gears, well, in fact, basically everything else into inserters, that should be everything we need. Now these, so belts and inserters are not intermediate products, so these ones cannot be productivity moduled. So that's kind of unfortunate, I guess, but I mean, work with what we've got. Alright, so this is annoying. Belts are easy. Like, one machine does like 22 belts a second. That's more than we need. But the inserters, they can do 11 crafts per second. But we need 11.9. So I am wondering if I speed module all of that. Oh no, actually we can make it go faster. Because we can do that. Alright, let me see how fast I can actually get these things to go. Okay, no, that's fine. Because I can put extra speed modules in here, I can actually get this thing running at 7.5 crafting speed, which is plenty. Right, so what we're going to do is this. Okay, we'll pop those in there. So this one is gears and plates. And then this one is gears, plates, and circuits. Like that. Okay, each of these are going to output at 11.9 a second, or probably a little bit more until things sort of calm down and match up. Which is fine for half a blue belt. Which way shall I take this? Let's go this way, actually. And then, essentially, we just need to take this somewhere we can do some green science with it. Okay, so we want 16 2/3 of a green science per second, which is 1,000 per minute. And the green science, much like the red science, can be productivity modeled. So we've got a crafting speed, once everything is hooked in, of 5.5. 5.5. Why is that only 4.25? Ah, because these are misaligned. I need to move everything down by 1, I think. There you go. Now it's 5.5. Oh, and these ones are even faster. Okay. Oh, thank you, autosave. Okay, so green science is normally crafted at 1 every 6 seconds. So we do 6 seconds divided by the crafting speed of 5.5. That's 1.09. Then we divide... well, if we take the reciprocal of that, we get 0.91 crafts per second. We need 11.905 crafts per second. So divide that through and we get 13 machines. Alright, so 13 machines later and a little bit more spaghetti. I think we are done. So essentially what happens is the belts and the inserters get put onto this belt here, which hops under there. Splits that way just for this one, so that side should back up pretty quickly, and this machine here also gets its stuff from there as well. The rest of it comes down to those 3 machines, hops under, goes around and feeds the rest of the machines over there, and then meanwhile all of the outputs, they coalesce onto the west side of this belt here. So I guess we should give it a try. It's actually not bad. It's pretty compact, all things considered. Right, so I'm going to drop off some stuff in the train just to make sure I have inventory space. That should be fine. I've got... yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. We're good. Okay, so that was actually 1 minute and 7 seconds that took. And yeah, we're not seeing inserters get this fast, so do you have an issue? You're not getting enough green circuits. You're not getting enough plates. Okay, I think I might give that output priority over this way, so we're prioritizing the creation of green circuits. The rest, no, that's actually the wrong way. That is the prioritization of green circuits. There we go. Okay, well that was 1 minute and 2 seconds. So, I think we're all right though. This still isn't running full time. It's just running, I guess it doesn't have to run full time. It's running much faster than it has to. But yeah, I think I am happy with that. So I'm going to do a similar thing over here with a box. rather than carry all of these green science back with me. I'll just pop them in there with a what's it. Yeah, we're a third of the way there. We've done 2 of the sciences. Easy, right? So, well, we're not taking the sciences anywhere yet. At some point we'll have to get a train ferrying the sciences from here to a lab of some kind. But I think on the whole I'm quite happy with that. Pollution-wise, we haven't had it running for very long. Tell you what, let's finish off just by destroying this base. Because, you know, what better way to celebrate than with fireworks? We are on our way. Marvelous. Alright, so I don't really know how this episode will compare to other episodes in terms of length, but I am probably going to leave it there. Next episode, I guess we'll do... Well, military typically comes next for me. I guess we could do blue science. I don't know. Leave a comment below. Which order do you think I should do things in? So, as you can see from my main base here, typically after doing red science and green science, I do a mall and then military science. This whole base here kind of is our mall, so we've already done that. So, do I do military science, or do I skip ahead to the more complicated stuff and the oil refinement necessary for blue science? I think that's about it for today, though. If you have spotted any mistakes, do feel free to leave comments below. I do actually read all of the comments. I don't get the opportunity to reply to all of them. But yeah, if you see like a mistake that I've made, do let me know. I do take notice of them. And I will even sometimes take your advice under advisement. That sentence didn't quite pan out how it went in my head. But anyway, I will leave it there for today. In the meantime, I will say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again soon.